Hello, this is WS News and Question and Answer on Monday, 2023, and Nonopa Vanda from South Africa will join us momentarily in this second WS News and Question and Answer today from Nonopa Vanda coming from South Africa. Hello, Nonopa. I see that there you are. Hello, Nonopa. I see your name in the screen, but I'm not hearing you and I'm not seeing you.
Hello. Hi. Okay, let me just
I hear you.
light. Okay.
Super.
Okay.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. Let me just switch on my mic. Okay, I don't think it's... You see me now?
Let me see. Not yet, but your name has gone away from the screen. I think your video may be emerging soon as this handshake process 4,000 miles away develops.
Okay.
Great.
There you go.
Nice to see you.
Okay. Me too. Am I audible?
You're audible. And what an amazing opportunity to talk between South Africa and Eastern United States.
Right, yeah.
What is the city you're in South Africa again? I saw on your Twitter feed, but
It's Durban.
Durban. Okay, great. I've been to South Africa once, to Cape Town and a few towns around that, but other than that, not to Durban, not to Joburg. So
Where was it?
have you been to the States? Have you been to the United States?
No, I haven't left South Africa, but I'm thinking of going around this year. Yeah.
Okay. Great. I'm going to put my earphones on too. What questions might you have of World University and School and our MIT Open Courseware centric courses and our wiki schools for free degrees and open teaching and learning?
The whole thing, Scott, can you just explain the whole thing? Because I only understand of institutions is you need to be, I don't know, registered, maybe go to Stanford, get your degree there, I don't know, graduate. So how do you guys do it? Because I've been following up and I've been looking at the stuff you have on YouTube, and I was just shocked. I had no idea you can finish a degree without actually enrolling in a school. Yeah, that's news to me. So explain that, yeah.
What World University and School is seeking to do for South Africans is also a credit at in the United States. So register in a sense, maybe with your word, and then students from South Africa would enroll for a free degree. So that's on the one hand, free bachelor degree, free law degree in South Africa, and possibly registered in South Africa. And on the other hand, wiki schools. So open teaching, not registering, but not a degree.
Okay, so you basically pick courses like that MIT courseware, like online, and you take them yourself, and then you get accreditation.
On the free degree side, you might take 20 MIT OpenCourseWare courses, but newly with CS First with Google Scratch programming language course that is also Creative Commons 4 licensed, where MIT OpenCourseWare is Creative Commons 4 licensed. And hopefully more of these Google courses will come along with World University and School and combined with MIT OpenCourseWare. So the degrees would be South Africans would enroll and study for a registered university degree, I think does that make sense?
It does. It does. Okay, so let's say maybe you wanna do a JD. Okay. Okay, so I can do have JDs. We have LLBs. Like I got mine from UKZN. So let's say
Where did you get your JD from in South Africa?
it's not JD, it's a LLB from UKZN, the University of
Super.
KwaZulu-Natal. Yeah, University of KwaZulu-Natal. So, wait. Okay, Natal.
Thank you.
Okay, there we go. So let's say I were to, I don't know, maybe register a master's degree through your program. How would that work? Like, let's say it takes, let's say master's in, I don't know, computational law, legal science, whatever, from Stanford Codex. That will usually take like a year or two or whatever. So how long would it take if you do it through this, through World University? And like at what point will let's say the master's degree be conferred? Yeah.
Great, good question. So we're still in the sort of startup phase. And right now we're focusing on a bachelor's degree that would be 4 years, possibly taking 4 years of CS First with Google courses. And maybe in a brand new way where the CS First with Google at World University and School platform might somehow even become, this is out of the box, conscious, have subjective experience as a university. So a master's at World University and School, say in a law-related subject in South Africa that would be registered in South Africa, might be 5 years away. So at this point, one of the questions I have for you would be, if we could plan together creating an online South Africa World University and School, and you could be its head and offer free online degrees that would be on a Google platform, and along the lines of bachelor, PhD, law, medicine, even IB high school, AA degrees in the United States, 2-year program, first 2 years of college, and master's degrees, maybe 2 years. How would that work, building out World University and School in South Africa at South Africa WUaS?
Yeah, I'd have to ask, like, how did you guys do it? Like, how did you do it in the States? Because I know MIT just blasted all their courses online through MIT Courseware. Schools here don't do that. Okay, they don't even have like notes online. They hate that. So it's still very like gate kept here. So you don't even the journals that the professors release are like locked in those research groups and locked journals. That no one does this SSR thing where they just like what Professor Tibo is doing on SSRN, where he just publishes stuff on SSRN for free for everyone.
Which stands, SSR is a publishing platform that stands for what again?
I love it. It's SSRN. You can just search it online.
It's sort of an open publishing platform.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, I saw it from Professor Tibo Scheffer, who he publishes his blockchain stuff on there. So
who's a Stanford Law Fellow, Codex Fellow as well.
Yeah, Tibo, exactly. So they don't do that here. Information is just locked. So something like that would be like unheard of. I'm not saying it cannot be done. So I just need to know, how did you guys do it? And
Great.
maybe you can see how you did it and then copy that.
Great questions. The MIT OpenCourseWare is Creative Commons 4 licensed, which says 3 things. Anyone can share it freely. Anyone can adapt it, add it to artificial intelligence. Anyone can even possibly add in a brand new, even philosophical way, consciousness to MIT OpenCourseware's faculty videos. This is to make them more interactive, more the actual faculty members in video as avatar bots, teachers, and have subjective experience. But 3 non-commercially. So World University and School couldn't ask in using the MIT OpenCourseWare for tuition from South Africans because of the CC4 licensing. And that's going to make us offer our degrees for free. But we're going to seek reimbursement, if we can, from departments of education in all 200 countries per student per year. So the MIT OpenCourseWare is just there. You can't get degrees from MIT. You can't get a degree yet from World University and School building on MIT OpenCourseWare courses. What we want to do, and where South Africa would be slightly different for its cultural background of learning and its students' approaches to learning, what World University and School would like to do is create first online degrees in English that would be accredited or registered in the US. So a master's in a law-related subject, or a 3-year free law degree at World University and School in English in America. And then at the same, and this might be on a Google Classroom platform. So students would enroll, students would be doing the courses, students would be talking with teachers, either teachers we hire, like yourself maybe, or similar. And so the sort of approach that we would offer a, say, 3-year law degree to your colleagues and friends and fellow South Africans would be maybe to build out of a 3-year law degree in America. But as we did this, because South Africa is an English-speaking country officially, like America, we would seek to register somehow. And it might come out of, World University and School collaborating with Stanford Law Codex. So Roland Vogel and Stanford Law Codex might know a whole series of South African law professors, and they might help build out a sort of back office of law schools for World University and School, not only in South Africa, not only in the US, but in all 200 countries. This is our goal. And on a sort of Google MIT OpenCourseWare centric World University and School platform. So these are, a 3-year law degree for South Africans, following starting a bachelor's degree for South Africans this autumn, potentially, as we accredit with Middle States Commission on Higher Education, would be sort of in the works. Does that answer some of your questions?
Yeah, it does. So this bachelor's degree you guys are starting out, is it like, what's the subject? Is it tech, or is it CSS? What is it on? Is it a Bachelor of Science or? So
when you go to our website, worlduniversityandschool.org, you'll see about 42 majors or MIT OpenCourseWare areas that have enough courseware from their 2,600 courses to put together programs, majors. And MIT is a highest achieving university, and it's very science, technology, engineering, mathematics oriented. And so is Stanford, a very high achieving university, very different cultures. We would like to build out our bachelor's degrees from those 42 possibly majors, but in a brand new way. It's not just taking static MIT OpenCourseWare courses. It would be something much more interactive and engaging on maybe a CS with Google at World University and School, Scratch programming language, platform-like course. And so could we not only start a bachelor's degree this autumn for South Africans, for a 4-year bachelor's degree, 40 MIT OpenCourseWare courses over 4 years, but could we also start at the same time a 3-year law degree this autumn for South Africans, but also Americans, US law, South African law, and have them emerge as registered, accredited somehow, legitimized in South Africa, thanks to you, because you might be the head of South Africa World University and School. That's the thinking. What are your thoughts and questions?
I like that. And I have to, I mean, obviously scout forward-thinking professors here in South Africa. I know Professor B is very forward-thinking from, I think it's from WITS or UCT, something of that nature.
What's their name?
They have, I think, theory divorce. Okay, just theory. Okay, PIE, theory divorce. There we go. Yeah, that's his name. And then who else?
Great.
Yeah, I'd have to find forward-thinking professors like to try to, push the boundaries. Because I know Peter was part of a legal tech online course here in South Africa. It's like legal tech online. It's like an online law school to teach people about legal tech and stuff. So that's someone I'd approach first. And yeah, just get to see their thoughts on that, because in South Africa, there's like a structure of universities. I don't know what they call it. I think it's the Universities Council or something like that, where they have this like one council that has like all the deans and all the VCs of all institutions of higher learning. So they get to make a lot of decisions. So you'd have to like lobby those folks first. And then once those folks are convinced, then you go to is it N2F? Yeah, that is who does the accreditation in N2F. Like my law degree is N2F level 8. So higher education has to then like dictate if it's a law degree, 3-year law degree, because our LLB is 4 years. So if it's 3 years, then it's NPF level 7 or 8 or whatever. Yeah. So they have to dictate that, like the requirements and whatnot. So I'd have to speak to them as well and then see how that would go. Yeah, I mean, I like the idea. And also, there's like if it's a mixture of South African law and US law, like where would they work?
Say what?
That's also fun. If it's a law degree, right, with South African law, US law, where would they go post that degree? Like, is it a JD? Where would they go? Because we have like a BA law, and then they go to LLB, or some institutions just offer straight LLB 4 years. That's what I did. And from there, you can, I don't know, be an attorney, be an advocate, or don't do any of that, whatever. So if it's like a 3-year degree, then it has to be like clearly defined. Where would you work in South Africa with US law? You know what I mean?
Super. Yeah, I mean, the question of getting a degree and it having career value, it having earning potential is fascinating, if that's what you're referring to. And the approach for World University and School, and this is a big envisioning process, would be to create 200 online major universities, and 200 also sort of on another wing, educational services stores, bookstores, computer stores, robotics stores, hospital technologies distribution centers, academic press with machine translation for all of South African languages, to sell our books on paper, digitally, through our online and physical bookstore, computer store, robotics stores. So potentially we would seek to hire our graduates. But if our law degree, a 3-year law degree at the post-bachelor level, so for say 22 to 26-year-olds or 25-year-olds, generally speaking, was registered because of the University Council and the NDF, we would not only seek to grow for these sort of opportunities for our graduates in our own World University and School organization, but also develop networks and links with other South African agencies, governmental organizations, companies that would hire our graduates. So that's sort of where our graduates might go with a 3-year law degree, if in South African law, because it would sort of emerge, if we could even start with our law degree this autumn for American law, we might be able to do a parallel process with even developing, if we had enough South African prospective law students, a law degree for South African law students in South African law. Charlie Nesson, the Harvard Law emeritus professor, could be helpful in these regards with Roland Vogel, with Professor Vos, with some other Stanford Law Codex participants from South Africa as well, there's another woman from South Africa in Stanford Law Codex I've met some years ago. Is that, so that's where they might go in some ways. What do you think? Questions?
Okay.
Thoughts?
Yeah. If you guys would hire them, then sure. And then from there, like from a bachelor's degree in that next degree, then they go to a master's degree.
That's the typical pattern in America. But and we would, with Google Classroom, with Google Education, we would seek to define our educational degrees potentially uniquely for each country as well, as we accredit with Middle States Commission on Education and license with the state of Pennsylvania's Department of Education. That's our first registration. That's our first accreditation. Middle States Commission on Higher Education is in 5 US states: Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, and Delaware. And the same accreditation process for MIT or Stanford occurs. And then South Africans come to MIT or come to Stanford, and they get their degrees in America. And some South Africans go back to South Africa, and some South Africans, because those universities, Stanford and MIT, highest achieving universities, are accredited. That partly helps to maintain their standards, maintain their quality, as well as their reputation is part of that as well, of MIT and Stanford. We would like to build our reputation at South Africa World University and School to be a highest achieving university, attracting very smart prospective students and graduates. South Africa has a large population. What is it? 20,
especially young people. Yeah, it's like
20, 30
million. million.
60.
60. Yeah. 60,
oh, yeah.
60.
Okay.
And there's also like, I think 60% or 60 to 80% is like young. It's a very large young population. Yeah. So this could really take off, see?
Yeah.
Only if the folks above are convinced. So, yeah.
How would you describe the web access for, especially on townships, for example, for many populations of South Africa that might be maybe not native English speakers, might speak Zulu or Xhosa or something like that?
Yeah. I'm Xhosa speaking as well. Everyone here speaks English. So even though like our medium of instruction here is like English and the mother tongue. So we learn English from as young as 4. So even when someone is Xhosa speaking, they can speak English. The Zulu speaking, everyone can. So it's a thing. So that wouldn't be an issue. The need of instruction, that's fine. With internet access, there's been like a huge, a complete digital overhaul where we've had companies install fiber everywhere. So that also won't be an issue. People can now afford data. Also, what else? The only thing that would be an issue is access to laptops. Not everyone has that. Like laptops.
Laptops.
Yeah.
Many people have smartphones, but not many people have 13-inch screens. Okay.
Yeah. Everyone has in terms of phones, everyone has a phone, but in terms of a laptop, the only people who have them are folks who are in universities. Okay, let me just up the volume here. The folks who are already in universities, like you're already educated and you're already educated, the state gives them, like every single person has it. So yeah, that could be a challenge. But again,
how would you characterize the role of poverty in South Africa. Back in 2005 or so, when I was in South Africa 18 years ago, I think, there was I got the sense that there was some poverty in South Africa, and
Yeah,
that might limit possible access to laptop purchasing, for example.
exactly. Yeah.
I think I know some other South Africans from Stanford as well. So one of the questions we're addressing on the WS corporation side, the WS Press side, with these educational services stores for books and computers particularly, would be with our free degrees, how to maybe get the equipment to, such as computers, laptop computers, to the folks who could benefit from it. And so maybe students, prospective students on the townships, on townships in, if that's what they're called in South Africa. The challenge there, in some ways, might be infrastructure, but in these regards, and I sent those tweets to you, World University and School, in a big brainstorming way, is exploring coding for all 7.9 billion people on the planet. So all the people on the planet, about 8 billion people, and potentially to facilitate wiki teaching and learning. Thibaut Schreppel could add his SSRN papers to the wiki side on whatever subject, law school or whatever wiki subject. But we would also seek to facilitate and maybe to end poverty, a single cryptocurrency, like Stanford Mine Pi cryptocurrency, free money daily. And this might be something that, say, students on townships might be able to use to possibly buy computers. And, as we seek reimbursement also from departments of education in some ways, one of the questions is from South African Department of Education, and South Africa is quite a rich country in some ways, I've observed, and for all of 55 African countries, but it also has, as I think about it, and I'm not a demographer, I'm not a sociologist of Africa. It has a lot of poverty too, as I can imagine. So we would like to help the people who could benefit from it. And there might be, while everyone might speak English, not everyone might be literate, for example, in the same way that you might be, writing wise and reading wise. Who knows? I'm not, I don't know South Africa.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, in terms of that, again, if they were born like, let's say, pre-94, like during a bad day, yeah, they probably, some of them, I think maybe let's say 60% of them are literate, maybe like 60. Maybe there's a whole 40 that's not. If they are born post-94, they're all literate, all of them. Because after that, there's been like a massive, complete overhaul of public education, So everyone, because school is free here. So no one has an excuse. Like, everyone, yeah, if you don't have the trick, it's either you were just, I don't know, maybe a drug addict or something. So everyone has access to that. It's free. So in terms of us, like born freeze, us who are born post 94, yeah, we are all literate. Like we can all, write, read, and whatnot. The issue would be, again, like you said, the folks live in townships or other areas. Some of them unnecessarily. Like it's not like they can't afford stuff. They have the money, but they don't know what to do with it. So some of them, yeah, it's there's like that township mindset where the only thing they can do with money is with friends, expensive alcohol, whatnot. Yeah. So you'd be shocked, actually. A lot of them have it. They just don't know what to do with it. So the center that sort of library spoke of that has like stuff in there and laptops, that could work. Because I can't trust them to do the work themselves. at home. They no, it's not gonna work. We don't do that here. This online thing just fails miserably here. So if it's online, they need a constant like community to keep them up to date, like to keep talking to one another, to keep like deliberating. So they would need that a meeting place, like what you just described, where we all meet and then we gather and then we talk and then we update each other, hold each other accountable. That could work. Like many centers spread across, the country. But yeah.
So this Zoom session will end in 10 minutes, just as a heads up.
Okay.
But that we had one World University and School connected with a student, a prospective bachelor's degree student from West Africa, from Cameroon, named Mwende Evande, last spring of 2022. And he wanted to get a free bachelor's degree, and he wanted to matriculate in through potentially taking this CS First with Google at WUaS course, this Creative Commons 4 licensed computer science first with Google at World University and School Scratch programming language course. And that's still a possibility for anyone on townships in South Africa to matriculate in. But to get, and Mwende Evande had the focus to complete this course. But the course wasn't social, and you can check out this CS First with Google course. And it wasn't, the teaching and learning happened with Mwende Evande doing the Scratch programming projects. And he hasn't yet sought to matriculate in or enroll for a free bachelor's degree. But we're still not accredited. We still haven't developed our platform for a free bachelor's degree for Cameroonians or for South Africans, culturally different, like even on the townships. And that that opportunity in America, education is the way up, and providing highest quality education could be attractive to some in the townships. Your friends, your extended network of family, even. And as I'm a sociologist, I'm an anthropologist, I see us moving in some ways from an agricultural orientation through modernity, the industrial revolutions, into the information age. And as people in this information technology revolution see these opportunities for free MIT, OpenCoursera-centric, Stanford, Google degrees, some will take them. And some will change their focus from drinking in the townships to wanting to get the degree. And if it's fun and interesting, like your engagement with Stanford Law Codex, or you find it great to develop World University and School even as its head, as its organizer, and even earn money with that eventually from World University and School, because World University and School is getting Department of Education reimbursement from the South African government. Maybe you'll find a way to attract high achieving, smart South African students from a variety of different language backgrounds to take these free law degrees online from their home. The thing is, we're not going to be in a physical school. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But again, like I said, it would be highly effective if we're not gonna have like a center or something like that. Maybe like even if it's like just one center, they need that. I swear they need that. Because even the schools here in South Africa, there's a school, University of South Africa, UNISA. Let me just write that down. UNISA has, even though it's an online school, they have like campuses in each and every city, because they need to have a space where they meet. Let's say they tutor each other, or they anything outside of their homes. Because if you live in a township, there's a guy next door who just keeps playing music like to the max, and there's a couple fighting next door, and there's a child screaming in the street. It's hard to focus. So yeah, it is. I'm not gonna lie, but not everyone lives there in townships. some live in rural areas where there's just, I don't know, goats and cattle and whatnot. Those folks are fine. And then there are those who live in suburbs, they're fine. The folks who live in townships like have it hardest in terms of noise. If they have a place where they can go to, that would be great. And also, again, if something isn't like usual, this is unusual for them. So it builds trust. There's something that's physical. That will, yeah, just build trust. Otherwise, they won't trust us. So this is fine. Even if it's online, let's say before like there's a I don't know, a center, whatever, a place they go to. If there's gonna be like just online, then it'd have to be a lot of accountability sessions, maybe monthly meetups, like how Codex does, where we constantly come together with all the professors from South Africa and the South African representative, and we all just come together every single month and just discuss stuff. Yeah. So if it's online, then it has to be that. Yeah.
I mean, America after the coronavirus pandemic, which affected us probably very differently from South Africa. America has 330 million people. Say from March 2020 to the spring of 2022, sort of found new avenues into online education because everyone was staying at home and everyone was not being social. And that was a very curious thing. And there may have been many reasons for that in America. But where World University and School may go physically in South Africa while seeking to create a kind of Stanford Law Codex classroom environment, and even better, with beyond group video, with South African professors and Stanford professors and MIT professors live and interactive at World University and School that we hire graduate student instructors to, maybe physically, is on the, this is a big brainstorming process, on the WS Corporation side. We're three legal entities. In the United States, we're a nonprofit, World University and School, two legal entities. One of those is in California, one is federal. And on the other side of WS Corporation, the for-profit, and that's for the educational services stores and the academic press. We would like to have physical stores. And they may be for WS Home Robotics, getting Lego robotics kits for South Africans. And maybe we'll have 10 WS Educational Services stores in South Africa for computers, for free computers, even for people who qualify if they don't have the money, or they can spend their Stanford Mine Pi on. But the studying potentially will be from home as far as we see it, and post-pandemic in the United States. That may be a twist, but yeah, noise in the township, sort of aspects of life that get in the way of a focused studying are challenges and issues. But maybe with your organizational abilities, for example, and if we could even hire you, if we had money, we don't have any money yet to speak of whatsoever, then maybe you could grow these Stanford Law Codex like classes towards free degrees. Maybe we could even start small with a single course to matriculate in for a free law degree or a free bachelor's degree that would be very social in a Stanford Law Codex group video environment. This is sort of the thinking. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. We can also like start, we can't just go, full on. Like it can just start small, like one course, see how that goes, and then, sort of build from that, maybe show the department, hi, this is what we did. These are the results. This is how much you need. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be like full on. We can just start with like a batch of like 20 to start off with 10. Then from there, you can just see how that goes. Yeah. I agree.
I mean, we want them to maybe enroll in the Google Classroom, Google Education, which we're environment platform, so that they're focused, and we want it to be social. Unlike it was not social for Mwende Evande in Cameroon, West Africa, and that was he did finish the course, but maybe we can even make the platform as social as it is between people being social in South Africa. In conversationally, these are questions of brainstorming large language models and how we code them, like Chat GPT, for sort of questions of consciousness. Is Chat GPT conscious? Does it have subjective experience?